Syria. The capital city of Syria is Damascus, and the population for this country is 16.3 million people. Syria is the Middle Eastern country and one of the lower income countries. The sector of economy for this country are agriculture and industry. These are the main sector of economy for this country. So, the GDP for Syria in 2017 is $45 billion. GDP by agriculture sector is 20%, industry sector is 19.6%, and services sector is 60.4%. The inflation rate was 30% and the unemployment rate for this country in 2017 was 50%.
Syria inflation rate. The inflation rate in Syria was record 0.23% in October 2018. Inflation rate in Syria averaged 10.90% from 1957 until 2018. Hyperinflation rate reaching an all-time high 1021.29% in August 2013. For deflationary was record low of negative 31.05% in September 2014. In Syria, the most important categories in the Consumer Price Index are food and non-alcoholic beverage in 40% of the total weight. Housing, water and electricity, gas and other fuels 25.5%, transport 7%. The index also includes clothing, footwear 5.6%, communication 4.2%, for health 3.8%, miscellaneous goods and service 3.4%, restaurant and hotel 2%, alcoholic beverage and tobacco 1.8%, education 1.6%, and the last one is the recreations and culture for among 1%.
Next is the causes and problem of the inflation. The reasons behind this collapse are the international sanction imposed on Syria and currency speculation. The government has forced speculation and local foreign exchange companies to sell the US dollar instead of holding it. The high volatility in currency prices result the monetary uncertainty among traders. This will also possible in increase on other depreciation in the future.
Next, the solution the Syria government used in inflation problem is they only focus on protecting the regime and maintaining the military's fighting capacity. Public finances have worsened since the start of the conflict. The overall fiscal deficit increased sharply by an average of 12% of GDP during the period 2011 to 2014 and is estimated to worsen to 20% and 80% of GDP in 2015 and 2016 respectively. Total revenue fell to an all-time low of below 7% of GDP during 2014 to 2015 due to the collapse of oil revenues and tax revenues. In response, government spending was cut back, but not by enough to offset the fall in revenues. The reduction in outlays on wages and salaries were not far-reaching enough, while military spending increased. The military spending increased because government spending have been driven by the regime's political concern and the need to protect its own interests. Even though they face with limited financial resources and ongoing international sanctions, the regime continued to rely partly on Iranian financial support and Russian loans.
Next, unemployment rate of Syria. Syria has been growing unemployment since 1991 and began to getting worse since Syria's civil war in 15 March 2011. Based on the graph, as we can see, the unemployment rate of Syria is at 8.28% for 2018 compared to last year 8%. The average unemployment rate for Syria from 2008 to 2018 is 8.28%. The data reached all-time high of 10.92% in 2008 and record low at 8.03% in 2011 as the economic indicator began to stabilize for that year, including the exchange rate and inflation. But economic activity remained depressed and gross domestic product (GDP) almost certainly fell. The unemployment rate began to decrease to 8.14% in 2009 compared to previous year, which is the highest from 2008 to 2018.
Next is the causes and problem of the unemployment. This is because of the paucity of job prospect at home. People have left this country in large number, with the estimated number of migrant workers abroad. There is also a serious mismatch between the skills of young people, bosses, and those that firms seek. They are educating a growing portion of their youth. Firms regularly cite the lack of the suitable skills among job applicants as a constraint to hiring, and unemployment rate are the highest among the most educated. This suggests that education systems are failing to produce graduates with marketable job skills.
Next, the solution that Syria's government used in unemployment problem is the severe decline in oil receipts since the second half of 2012 and disruptions of trade due to the conflict put pressure on balance of payments and the exchange rate. Revenues from oil exports decreased from $4.7 billion in 2011 to an estimated $0.22 billion in 2014 and are estimated to have declined further to $0.14 billion in 2015 as most of Syria's oil fields are under the control of opposition forces of ISIS. Therefore, current account balance is estimated to continue its trend and reach a deficit of 22 and 15% of GDP in 2015 and 2016 respectively. As a result of the civil war, it is estimated the total international reserves have declined from $20 billion at end 2010 to $0.7 billion by the end of 2015. Depressed export revenue and declining international reserve have caused a significant depreciation of the Syrian pound from 47 pounds per USD in 2010 to 375 pounds per USD at end February 2016.